Hi everyone, Jamie here with Sweet Pickins. Welcome to our kitchen. I am so glad you're here. So we are gonna make a really fun recipe today for supper. Because as you can see, I have my rolling rack out. That goes into our baking closet. I pull it out to get a whole bunch of stuff, have access. So I am getting ready to make some goodies for the farm stand. I will bake the next 3 days for the farm stand. So it is out and ready to go. So I thought I need to have a really quick and easy supper tonight because I need to be making. Today I'm gonna be making all my chocolate dip treats, such as my candy bars and my chocolate dip Rice Krispie treats and chocolate dip marshmallows and pretzels and all the things. So I decided let's make our homemade Alfredo sauce. So it's homemade Alfredo sauce, and we're gonna turn it into a full supper by adding some chicken that I've already made and some pasta. So I have got our pan here, and it is hot as can be. I turned it way up to get it really warm. So this pot, actually, I just made the noodles in, and so I just threw it on here and might as well not create more dishes for myself. So you can do that, make your noodles and then use this pot to make this dish in. So it's a one pot dish, super easy. Okay, let's get started. So to make the Alfredo sauce that we're gonna make first, you're gonna need these ingredients and then we'll add to the Alfredo sauce. So I have got 1 stick of butter here, completely melted and somewhat cool. So I put it in. Look at that, you can see how hot this is, and I did turn it down. Okay, so I've got the butter. That is 1 stick. I did salted butter. Now you're gonna want to do 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. And you know what? I forgot to grab that. So let's grab it together. I sure thought I was ready. So we'll do 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. Now guys, milk will not work for this. Milk will not work. You have to have heavy whipping cream. So we're gonna do 2 cups. And that is the end of this. So this container, this is the 32 ounce, the quart, and you could get 4 cups out of the quart. Okay, we won't need this. And let's toss this. Okay, so I turn this back up to high. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stir it. So far we did 1 stick of melted butter and we did 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. Okay, the next thing you're gonna need is a 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. If you can grate it fresh, do that. It'll make a really huge difference. But if you can't do it fresh, you can totally buy it and it will still be good. So it's a 1/2 cup. So we're gonna put this in here and we're gonna stir it. Now we want our cheese to melt and not be all clumped up in one spot. So keep it moving. Get this high as it can go just to get it going. You want it to boil, but you don't want it to be so hot and boil so much that it boils over. So I did turn it down initially, so it's just gonna take a second. Now this is just the electric burner that I use for my videos. We actually use a gas stove, and so the burners are gas, and man, does it's quick. It is really quick. It cooks everything so quick, bakes everything so quick. I have learned over the years to kind of retrofit my recipes to our oven. Okay, so it is on high and it is gonna start bubbling right now. So we're gonna just want it to bubble and simmer and just cook a little bit. All right, so black pepper and salt. So we use sea salt and we use the coarse black pepper. So there's not a ratio on this. This is to taste. And I'm pretty generous with the black pepper. I probably honestly put in about a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. However, with the salt, we use sea salt, so it's a little bit bigger. And I do use salted butter. So I'm very, very light-handed on the salt. If you do not use salted butter, then you're gonna want to add just a little bit more than what I am. So as you can see, the steam is coming and this cheese is melting so well. We're just gonna kind of wanna keep it moving. You don't have to keep it moving the entire time, but do not walk away from this because you will absolutely have a mess. Okay, the next thing you're gonna need is garlic. So I use the granulated garlic. You could use the powder. I like granulated. I think the flavor and the texture is just really good. So I use a half a teaspoon. Some of you may say that's not enough. You would be really surprised. This is definitely enough. But if you want a really padow garlic flavor, add more until it tastes good to you. So you can see it's bubbling, and as it's bubbling and as it's simmering, and it's not simmering yet, we've got it to a boil, and we will turn it down here in a second. You are going to get all those flavors infused, and it is just gonna be so yummy. The cheese is melting. The cheese is actually completely melted already. So like I said, if you want to add a stronger flavor, you definitely can do that by adding more garlic. So I'm gonna turn this down to medium heat on this. So we have put, let's just go over this. I've got my little notes. I've got 1 stick of melted butter, 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. Remember, no milk on this one. You need a half a teaspoon of garlic powder or granulated garlic, no cloves on that one. You're gonna want to do a half a cup of freshly grated Parmesan cheese. And if you don't have it grated freshly, it's fine, you can buy it. It just adds a different flavor profile when you buy cheese opposed to freshly grating cheese. You're gonna do salt and pepper to taste. Again, I use a little more pepper just to give it a little bit of, not spicy, it just gives it just a stronger profile, and a tiny bit of salt because I use salted butter. Guys, that's it for the Alfredo sauce. So now it is literally just simmering. So while it simmers for a couple of minutes, let's talk about the other things I have to add. So I have pasta here, and I did an entire bag of pasta. I think it was 16 ounces. You know, I'm sorry I did not look at that. You can use any design pasta, any kind of pasta. These are actually egg noodles, and I thought these were fine because the only other thing I had in there was little elbows, and those are too tiny. I did not want those, so these were going to be completely fine. So I made the entire bag. Most likely I'm not gonna add all this in. The chickens probably will end up with some treats also. They love pasta. Of course, I don't give it to them with any sauce or anything. It's just plain pasta. So this is what I did. You guys can use whatever you want. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I like my pasta to be extremely coated, and I just want all those flavors infused on all the noodles. Some people don't like that. They want the noodle, mostly the noodle with just a little flavor. So that is how you're gonna determine how much pasta you put in. So I kind of make this different every time. I always cook a bag of pasta. Let me see, let me just shamefully look in the garbage. Here it is. It's the egg noodles. And how many ounces is this? Oh, 16, okay, yeah. So that's what I thought. So 16 ounces is what I do for the pasta. Okay, so you know I'm kind of crazy with all this. So I'm washing my hands because I'm about to cut up chicken. And I want to make sure that my hands are clean and they're fresh and washed. Even though I didn't dig through the garbage, it does not matter. Okay, so 16 ounces of pasta. So I will add this in as I feel fit. And I know I will not use the whole bag, but I always cook the whole bag. So if you don't have chickens like me, or you're not making it for another dish, you may only want to use half the bag. And I'll tell you after I get in here exactly how much I'm using this time. And again, I just do it by feel. I know this is not exact. I don't bake exact. It's just not, or cook exact. It's just not how it is. I kind of go off a feel, and I don't want a ton of pasta that does not have coating on each piece. And we've all been to a restaurant where that has been the case, and it kind of spoils it. So, all right, while this is simmering here, I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit about the chicken. So I already made this chicken, and if I'm being totally transparent, I just made it in our air fryer. So these are just cubed up, not cubed up, I just cut chicken pieces, threw them in the, well, I threw them in the air fryer, cooked them, and then cut them up. So this is, I mean, it's awesome. It's already seasoned and everything. I would say lightly season your chicken. I like the chicken to have a little flavor, but not so overpowering that it competes with your Alfredo sauce. So let's cut this chicken up while this is simmering. Where I do the videos, there's not a ton of room. I have more kitchen over here, but this is like the best space for a camera. So this is 2 chicken breasts that I did, and you could do chicken breast, you could do thighs, whatever, but I did throw it in the air fryer. I cooked it for 375 for 20 minutes. There is a video on making really yummy chicken on our YouTube channel, and it's just very simple seasoning, and you can see it's just basic and it's yummy. And honestly, if you want, you guys can buy the chicken already done, but what I really recommend is you guys buy a rotisserie chicken. That is so good in this. Buy a rotisserie chicken, and then just, you know, pull it apart and stick it in this dish. It is absolutely delicious. So I don't cut my pieces all the same. I do smaller pieces, big pieces, really tiny pieces. I just have a variety. I don't think too much about it. Obviously, if that bothers you, then cut them all perfect. It doesn't bother me. Okay, and as you're getting your chicken ready, just make sure you stir this periodically, because what's happening right here is it's thickening up. It's thickening up a little bit, and so this gives you time for that to simmer and then to cut your chicken. So like I was saying, rotisserie chicken, I personally like the rotisserie chickens at Costco. They're like $5, and they are so yummy and have just such good quality meat on them, and I really like their chicken. So if I was going to Costco today and I wanted to make this, I would have absolutely picked up a rotisserie chicken. So definitely think about that, because that actually will save you guys a ton of time. I just use my air fryer for our chicken. It comes out juicy and soft, and it even has some grill marks, and I really, really like that. And it works out so good for us. We use our air fryer for a lot of stuff. I actually made tuna steaks the other day in the air fryer, and I don't eat tuna of any kind. Canned tuna, fresh tuna. This is fresh tuna that I put in the air fryer, but Jeff said it was absolutely fantastic. Okay, so this is 2 chicken breasts all cut up. I'm gonna actually put this right in here. Okay, and now I'm gonna turn this down a tad. I'm gonna get this all right here, and then we're gonna add the pasta. And I'm gonna add half of this. And then kind of see where we're at. And I just like to take some time, make sure it's all coated. So as of right now, I've used 8 ounces of pasta. So I used half of the pasta I had cooked up. And I probably could add just a tiny bit more. But honestly, I think that's it. So that's about a third of what I cooked up left. So I have it down on low, and I'm just coating all our pasta. So guys, now all we have to do is we can serve this now. So it is 3 o'clock here, and I'm been baking. So I stopped to do this, and then I'm gonna keep baking. So I'm gonna put the lid on this, and then what I like to do on top of the lid is I like to put a tea towel on it, just kind of to nestle it down in and just keep it warm. And I put some hot pads underneath it. This will stay warm. So as you guys can see, look at how yummy that is. Simple, easy, very, very, very quick. So I'm gonna turn this off. So what can you have with this? So guys, you can actually do this all by itself. You don't need anything else. But if you do want, you definitely can add different seasonings to this. Add a few in on the top for garnishment or garnishing, or you can put it in while you're cooking. So just because I only did garlic, salt, and pepper does not mean that's all you have to do. I just didn't want to do a lot because I had already put a little bit of seasoning on our chicken, and this honestly is good enough. So you can do other seasonings, or if you want, you could serve this with like some broccoli or carrots. If you want to add a vegetable, you absolutely could do that. Another thing that periodically I'll do is I will add diced mushrooms. I'll dice up some mushrooms, fresh mushrooms. I will cook them first. I'll saute them first, then throw them in here, or you could put them on the side. That is so yummy too. And then don't forget fresh bread with this. Garlic sticks, you know, your bread garlic sticks would be so yummy with this. Some cornbread, garlic bread, regular butter bread. There's so many things if you guys want something else. I know some people don't like to just have one dish, but this is a one dish meal, super easy. But if you want to add some things to it, you absolutely can. I mean, I just named a couple. There's probably thousands that you can add to this on the side, into it. It does not matter. I think grilled onions would be really good in here. I've never done it, but it's just a play off of. Just because a restaurant does it one way does not mean you can't do it a different way. So just whatever you and your family like is what you should do. So that's it. Super simple and easy. So guys, thank you so much for joining me here on our YouTube channel. We appreciate it, and we'd love it if you would like and subscribe to our channel. It means the world to us. Also, do not forget that we have a website, shopsweetpickens.com. And then also, we have Instagram and Facebook. Go follow us over there. Lots of behind the scenes stuff, lots of stories. You'll see our reels. So just head over there. You just have to put in Sweet Pickens Reno. And remember, it's Pickins Reno, and you'll find us over there. So guys, again, thank you so much for joining me tonight in our kitchen, and we will see you on the next video.